guys, welcome to There's More to Sports. I am your host, Sav Hart, and today we are with Vic, also known as CountOnVic, who is content curator, fashion plug, New York City plug in general. But Vic, I'm sure you can speak to what you do a little bit more.
Yeah, so I always, I get asked a lot, or I hear this a lot. What do you do exactly?
That's what I wondered
and
first.
And I like it that way. I kind of like that people don't really know the ins and outs, but it's just, you can't really give it a job title when you're doing a little bit of everything. And I kind of found my niche, like you said earlier. I just kind of built this network where I connect the dots. I help out with brands, with consulting, with athletes, athlete relations. I have my show with Slam now, shout out Slam. And just love the game of basketball and anything that surrounds it as a whole. So just bringing those worlds together is kind of what my brand is.
And I feel like you always have people just so ready and willing to help you out. How did you build those relationships and get to that point?
I did a lot for free for a lot of people. It's a good reputation to have. Like, I don't really ask for anything, but you kind of have to learn that, along the way, you have to start asking for things.
Yeah.
And I kind of started shooting my shot with certain things, and it's always in a mutual capacity where, the person I'm asking is also getting something out of it. I always say, like, my value is my network.
You just feel like you have to put the pain in, you have to put the work in.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
But how did you kind of make that transition into essentially making this a career?
I don't know, I kind of felt like this whole mindset that I have is a major part of it is me being an immigrant, right? So I came to this country when I was 13 from the Middle East, from Israel, and not really knowing the culture of New York or the US in general, but you move to New York and it's the biggest city and so much is happening. And at 13, 14, I'm moving on my own. Like, my parents are two-time immigrants, so they don't have time for me. I was an only child at the time. It's funny because it all kind of started through social media and then going to events. And then, back to your question, how did I get myself in a position to get paid for something for the first time? It was actually a brand that hit me up and asked me to consult for them. I kind of walked into that room with the mindset that everybody else in there was smarter than me, and I was just gonna go in and take it all in. And then I had a few little things to say, and then I realized, like, I have real value that I can bring in. People hit me up on DM and email asking, how do you do what you do? How can we start doing what you're doing? It's just, honestly, everyone's path is different. And I always say that. Like, you can't, that's the bad thing about social media. Like, you look up to someone, you see the finished product on social media, so you think, oh wow, this is what it is. It's like, money grows on trees. Like, nah, fam.
Not even close.
Like, yeah, I wasn't paid for 2 years straight. I just did straight up work.
But when did you realize that there's more to sports?
I think it was my time working with Franchise Magazine. That's kind of how I started a lot of this off, with this really well-curated kind of art book, basketball art book. Diplo's manager was following me. He said, oh, this girl knows her stuff. So it's so funny, again, social media, making that happen. And worked with them for 2 years, and it was just like building the brand of Franchise up.
Do you have any advice for someone trying to get into the game?
I always tell people it's all about the networking, in the sense that, I hate the word networking, but in the sense that you have to make people remember you. So it's the FaceTime, it's actually talking to people. And I always say, like, shoot your shot. If it's DMing someone that you feel like can help you, or just shoot them your resume, even if they say no, that person might come back to you and then say, well, I could use you for something else. So I always say, just go for it. Don't be afraid to ask.
Fire. Thank you so much for sitting with us today. And thank you guys for tuning in to There's More to Sports, and we'll see you guys next time.